you talked about how you have made tons of projects that you shared on your
Mhm.
GitHub. How do you decide which projects to work on and open source? I guess this kind of ties into, earlier I had the question about the infiniteness of possibility. And so this is, I guess, almost a follow up question on that, where with open source projects, like there's again an infinite number of things you could do. How do you pick from all the things out there? Is it just kind of, do you have that intuition that like, wow, this thing is the most exciting thing right now, I can't imagine working on anything else, I'm just going to do that? Or is it more methodical?
It's kind of both. I did do some survey last summer of the things across various modalities and seeing where the gaps. So there was some systematic approach there as well. With Hugo GPT in particular, I knew that basically it's going to explode here in the Balkan region just because there is this big thirst and knowledge about ChatGPT and lack of local languages, and LLMs being all the hype, yet zero good models for these languages in particular. And so I had the prediction going on back in October or November, and then that crystally my prediction turned out to be completely correct. Somewhere, I think mid December or late December last year, when I open sourced Hugo GPT, and we had like a crazy media attention across hundreds of portals, like newsletters and like television shows inviting me, even though I said no to like 900% of the new shows because I literally didn't have time to do that stuff. I found it very a big distraction, but like I did write out a couple of a blog, like a interview. I got some like written interview questions, and I did reply to those. And I was even covered by like national television, like website or whatnot. Anyhow, so it turned out to be a big hit here in the local region.
Nice. Yeah. So it sounds like you do kind of have an intuition around these things, that there is, maybe, through all of your reading, that probably helps. Maybe all the language speaking and, the
Yeah,
other activities you have to clear your mind. It comes to you kind of this vision of, you go GPT, this is going to be
yeah.
huge. Let's go.
In this particular example, I would say it was less about intuition, more about actual explicit knowledge. So when I say intuition, it's something you can't really articulate. You don't have any concrete evidence. It's just like a bit more abstract, and you kind of have to make these decisions in these highly dimensional search spaces, and you just kind of have an intuition for where to go. Maybe similar to what like Monte Carlo search tree does in like Alpha Zero or something like that. You have some type of a value function, and you kind of estimate the value of this particular path, and you go that direction. But that happens completely outside of your explicit conscious thinking where you're having these monologues with yourself explicitly. No, it just happens. You kind of feel it, and then you kind of go that direction. That's the best way I would describe it. Knowing how these models work, like it's a value function, internal value function.